My name is Piotr Pietrzak, and this interview is recorded for Insight on Understanding Think Tank, where we celebrate scholars who are not only leaders in their fields, but also the pillars of their academic community. And today it is my great pleasure to introduce a true inspiration, a real non-profit hero, and one of the most outstanding and recognizable academics from Georgia, Professor Emilia Alaverdov. Good morning to you.
Good morning, dear Professor.
How are you today? How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you for your invitation. Really, it's a great pleasure for me to have an interview with you and to present our book. Our second editor will have also, I think, in its part, interview. So thank you and good morning once again.
Good morning. Thank you. Professor Alaverdov serves as Georgia Technical University scholar. She's also a head of public relations department at David Avashambeli University of Georgia. Her research focuses on migration, European studies, Russia studies, and her scholarly contribution have reached a truly international audience with an impressive record of more than 45 scientific papers, chapters, 13 books authored by her or co-authored by her and her co-authors. Professor Alaverdov is uniquely able to present us this book today. She participated in over 50 international conferences, more than 20 international exchanges, Erasmus Plus, and many others. You love doing what you do, don't you? It's truly inspirational for all of us. Professor Alaverdov, you are a guiding force for young scholars. You are mentoring, supporting, and helping them to reach their full potential. Your commitment to academic excellence and social responsibility is truly admirable. It's an honor. It's a true honor for me to host you here. Congratulations on your recent achievement. Congratulations on the publication of cultural heritage protection and restoration in conflict zones and post-conflict zones. This is a terrific and timely publication. Could you tell us more about it? Could you tell us what inspired you to start this project?
Thank you. Thank you for presenting me in such a rich way, I can tell. I'm doing my best, to develop myself, to engage more to foreign audience, to be visible for everyone in my work also. Yeah. As for the inspiring, really, I think that nowadays, because the world faces a lot of conflicts, which is very difficult to explain these wars and the problems what wars get. I will just focus on that. Also, cultural heritage and its protection is under the threat, because while there is war, you cannot maybe think about culture to protect cultural heritage, because you think to protect your citizens, right? Not in cultural heritage, to go to the backspace. But in post-conflict situation, when everything finishes, then we start thinking about cultural heritage. Okay, we lost this territory, and what are the stuff that we lost there as well? Yes, and I think that then I make some researches, and I could not find too many books or too many works about it, and I say why, and I thought, why not to create such kind of book projects? And really, we had very many chapters. Of course, some of them had problems, some of them didn't pass peer review, etc. And totally we created the book. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Your first two chapters deal with Georgia and occupied territories of Georgia, and you authored the first two chapters with your colleagues. Could you tell me more about how Georgia balances sovereignty and cooperation in protecting heritage under occupation of these territories?
We are three co-authors, and we have really a chapter about Georgian cultural heritage and protection it. So we just split it. One author deals with legal parts, another with historical, and me with political. So really, Georgia faced the challenge of protecting its cultural heritage because we know that these territories are occupied, and really we cannot do anything from here to protect them there, and really it is very difficult. Here we try to do it somehow in a remote mode, to tell the truth, but it's not enough. And in this case we are calling for engaging international cooperation. Maybe international partners will help us to restore them, like to just save them, etc. But we cannot do alone. We cannot be without any cooperation.
This proves to be very challenging. And could you tell me
Yes.
how the intellectual property serves as a soft power tool in this post-conflict situation?
Yes, we think that intellectual property, this chapter has very like a strong author, and the author is Miranda Gurgenidze of this chapter, and she is expert in intellectual property, and she described it very well. And she says that we need like fostering cultural resilience, economic renewal, and international recognition, cultural diplomacy, national branding, and global engagement. So all these can be just using IP strategically in international platforms. So she just advised, and she gives her opinion that in international platforms using IP strategy will give us a kind of light to
Mhm.
protect our heritage.
Interesting, interesting. And another chapter which is in this book, you are editor, and there is, I think, 15 chapters in this book. So could you tell me how has Russian invasion in Ukraine tested international law on heritage protection, and also how this invasion in Georgia in 2008 affected also the initiatives in Georgia? Can you advise on this one?
Really, we saw that Russian invasion really violated all international laws. It doesn't matter in Ukraine or in Georgia, really, because under international laws, we are sovereign states, and no one is allowed to invade like neighboring or I don't know faraway country. We can say that he violates convention, Hague Convention for Protection of Cultural Property and Armed Conflict. I mean about 1954 Convention, because while entering and starting war with country, as I told before, not only people suffer and suffer all everything what is, and of course the monuments that are under the protection of UNESCO also suffered everything. So it is violation of national sovereignty and UNESCO just rules and everything. So it tested that it was totally violation of it, and hostilities attack on culture, or we know that national cultural heritage is a part of our culture, our religion, our I don't know history, and all these are being violated.
I guess that if the Western countries did a little bit more in 2008 to stop the invasion in Georgia, maybe the Russian intervention in Syria or Russian intervention in Ukraine wouldn't happen. And maybe the cultural heritage protection should have been more addressed back then in 2008. What do you think? What's your expertise in this field?
Yeah, I want to go a bit back and start not with war in Georgia, but in
Mhm.
Munich speech, Putin's
Okay.
Munich speech 2007. In 2007, he in Munich he addressed, and he starts like threatens the world. He starts speaking about that he's superpower, etc. But what did European community do? Nothing. They even didn't pay attention to it. And after this, since European community, I don't know I don't know, Angela Merkel or other people start seeing that, oh, we have problem with global warming. Of course, global warming is very important. I understand it. And they start shifting to some other problems. They even didn't listen to him carefully. They say, okay, let him speak, whatever he wants. If they listen to him carefully, not Georgia, not Ukraine, not Crimea will happen, really. But then after this, exactly was followed Georgia invasion. And what they did, nothing. Sent some peacekeepers to us or some water. Nothing what they did. And of course, then comes stuff with Ukraine. So I think that we should listen to each other. We should to catch messages, to react to this. I don't say that start war with someone, but he just told very openly that he was going to do some serious steps. And we have to listen, we have to realize, we have to understand and react.
Thank you much for that. That's very insightful. There is another chapter which deals with shifting neutrality, which reflecting changing security and identity norms. Could you tell us more about this interesting chapter?
So, you know, what do not react like Europe, start neutral with our war, that you do not react to something. And it illustrates how changing security environments and evolving nation of identity push states to refine neutrality from passive or non-violent. And that's why stay neutral, it means do nothing. And really, it's cause kind of problem also.
Interesting. And the digital heritage tools, there is another chapter which suggests that fostering peace and dialogue after conflict should be also done through the digital platforms, such as virtual museums, 3D reconstructions, archives, oral history projects. How is that implemented on the ground in Georgia and in any other countries which basically this book touches on?
Yeah, it's very interesting, because we live in a digital world now. Everything, even we are having interview digitally, like yes, online. And I think that it is really, it's not quite a reality. It's not face to face. But when we do not have other choice, so digital platform, we should create digital museums, as we told, digital like meetings. It really should work because we cannot, for instance, show our youngsters kind of cultural heritage that we lost in Abkhazia, right? But at least we can show them digitally. Okay. We can give them access to a museum. We can give them explanation of our some heritage. So these digital platforms, I think if we create, we don't have such many of them. Okay, we tried somehow, but for this we need resources, we need fundings, and if some organizations, some corporations fund this, I think it will work somehow, but if we should try to do something at least, not to just say, okay, we lost it, we had something there and it is destroyed, and what can we do? It is occupied. I understand. We cannot go from here to Abkhazia or Ossetia and restore something. No one will allow us, unfortunately. But still, we can even raise awareness through digital platforms. But for this, we need resources, fundings, and it is really very poor.
Interesting. And there's many challenges because I know from my research in Syria, I know how new occupiers basically destroy the cultural heritage of any land which they conquer, and this is very systematic when it comes to the Russian policy in Georgia, in Ukraine, and in many other areas. So I guess the local people and regional people from the regions, they cannot really protect themselves on their own. So how the global institutions can step in to help to protect the heritage of occupied Georgian territories? What's the chapter dedicated to this issue? What do the scholars who authored these chapters, what do they say about it?
You know what they say? They mention international cooperation.
Mhm.
Georgia cannot go and protect and restore them, but for instance, a kind of mission from European Union can go and like restore, not protect, but restore it. And for this also we need international cooperation. All goes through international cooperation, nothing else. Yes, I think they should create a kind of mission, observation, and fund this. Yeah.
How the United Nations is helping with these initiatives.
Unfortunately, not much, not much. United Nations also do not have so many projects for this. As I told, we have some peacekeepers and they record what happened. Oh, they violate. Okay, let's only record it and nothing. They don't care to tell the truth about cultural heritage. Yes, maybe they have much more to do. Maybe they care for people, for like citizens, but not for this stuff. No, not resources, not enough resources. Yeah,
I
for
understand.
this.
And how about the
Unfortunately.
universities? Because universities, one of the chapters is dedicated especially to universities and their role in driving cultural recovery after conflict. How Georgian communities is helping in this respect?
Yeah, university, they organize kind of workshops, they organize kind of, again, virtual tours, and they just raise awareness. And also universities, I think universities should do their best. Universities should engage youngsters from both sides. Even online platforms create just to promote cultural diplomacy and citizen diplomacy. It works because when people, public diplomacy, it's better to say public diplomacy. If universities create platform for public diplomacy, it will work better. Once I remember in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, yes, Ministry of Education of Abkhazia in Georgia in exile, they held a really conference about essence of public diplomacy, and I participated in it, and they touch as well cultural heritage, and really it was very, very useful, very, very insightful. Yes, so we should work in the matter of cultural diplomacy because there is no way out. What can we do?
Amazing. Thank you much for that. And another chapter, which is even more interesting, is dedicated to AI and the new tools which are used to safeguard heritage in the conflict zones. How does this work? Because we know that AI is changing the landscape of our discussions, but AI is not perfect, and sometimes there are some issues with some AI tools which are basically misrepresenting the reality. So, what's your opinion on that one?
Okay, it's very good. Also, all questions are really, really very interesting, but this is very new one and challenging. To tell the truth, we cannot rely on AI. I want to tell that when I just to test it, I type some hotels and say, oh, please, can we help me to find hotels in, for instance, in Larnaca with breakfast, with something like. And he gives me totally, yeah, he gives me a name, but he gives me wrong destination. He gives me a bit of wrong information. I think AI all generates everything from sites and give you, and we cannot really eat. Yes, and maybe sometimes it works. Sometimes it gives you just correct information, but sometimes not. So we cannot rely it. We should try maybe it's not a matter of my like practice, but who creates them, they should develop it. And I don't know, maybe it's through AI they want to introduce kind of cultural heritage, protection of cultural heritage, but really for the moment it is not very helpful, unfortunately.
That's what I suspected. We still need to work on AI tools in order to, well, help in this area. Another chapter which deals with cultural heritage deals with the public companies, how they can support this noble initiative, basically.
again, we go to finances. I think these public companies should make some donations, some finances. I think if create some missions, for instance, maybe if we make small excursion to there, maybe nothing will happen. Who knows? And but for this we need funding. They should fund kind of missions. Public companies. Now I know that they are just businesses, they are doing their business, but besides this, maybe they can help not to donate in some unreal projects, some for projects that give us nothing. We know that
Mhm.
many projects are financed just for nothing, just for doing some researches to take from sites some informations and paste them and say, oh, we did something. No, and this is real stuff, and they are also very passive,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
Okay, and there is another very interesting, unusual chapter which deals with agrotourism. And the authors of this chapter basically suggested that agrotourism is essential to post-war recovery and restoration and preservation of identity of the affected territories and the people. Could you tell us more? Because this is really fascinating.
Yes, I want to highlight that agrotourism is really very interesting and very, how to say, important, significant one. As we remember, America recovered Great Depression through agro sector. And if we develop agro sector, we will develop agrotourism as well. Yes. So if you do not have developed sector, how can you develop tourism as well? And it's good because when we go to agrotourism, we saw culture because every country, every region has its culture. Yes, for instance, someone plants potatoes, someone plants, I don't know, maybe beetroot, who knows, yeah? And from this agrotourism, we can just catch the cultural elements and be aware and be familiar with cultural elements through agrotourism. And also not tourism but agrosphere is very, very important. For instance, now in Georgia, they don't want to work on their lands. They leave these lands for nothing and they go to work, I don't know, in Poland or somewhere. I don't know why, but if we work in our just lands and if we develop it, in this case, we will also develop agrotourism and we will also develop our economy. As I told that, America just start recovering slowly from Great Depression through agronomy, through just, through this one, because they pay attention. They plant, they grow, they gave it. It was a part of their plan. So first we have to develop it. Agrosphere, and then people will come and see our cultures, for instance, wine, I don't know, potatoes, etc. But unfortunately, it also doesn't work. Maybe the book will give some kind of inspiration to work over it.
Amazing. It's a multi-dimensional issue, and definitely business people should also read it because this particular chapter gives a lot of ideas how to help cultural heritage and also how to make money as well in this particular sense, because this is a part of recovery. People getting richer, and the richer people get, the less likely war becomes. The waging war is becoming less important for the majority of the population. Um, I just want to shift the conversation because the next chapter is approaching the issue from totally different dimension. The authors of this particular chapters basically focus on sacred sites and how they share the regional geopolitics. So could you tell us more about this chapter because it sounds very fascinating?
Yes, we know that these secret sites are very precious for everyone. And unfortunately, they are also not preserved. And maybe the secret site should be maybe like a religious from the religious point of view, maybe churches can pay attention, or kind of religious organization, because these secret sites, when you go to somewhere and you want to explore like religious tourism, for instance, yes, secret sites are a way to promote religious tourism. Uh, and that's why we have to pay attention to this also, to this religious tourism, and just restore them. And again, business, like you mentioned, businessmen can help it. Also, they can make money, because while restoring, they will employ something, they will take from, and then they will develop their tours as well. So the secret sites are very, very precious. Also, they are a part of our cultural and religious elements, you know, and people are very sensitive to these sites. Also,
Amazing.
they suffer a lot.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Indeed, religious people tend to travel to cultural sites, to the sacred sites, and places like Mecca, Medina, Jerusalem,
Yes.
Rome, or many other places around the world are frequently visited by the travelers from various places of the world. And it's not only some people, it's the whole families who go there, and that's why the preservation of cultural heritage is
Pilgrimage also, yeah.
so important. And I think one of the chapters is dedicated to economic stability and how it supports the post-war heritage recovery. Could you tell me a little bit more about this particular chapter?
Yes, of course. Also, I want to highlight that I have a book about religious tourism. It was published in IGI Global in 2020, and really it directly went to Scopus because I think they like it. And it was about pilgrimage, like you tell, Medina, Mecca, that family travel. And really it's very interesting, because countries are developed religious tourism as well. So there is recreational tourism, religious tourism, and it's really very important. Unfortunately, for our countries who are still under the occupation, it doesn't work, because these countries that we mentioned, they are not occupied, and people can go freely and do whatever they have in their heart inside. As for economic, of course, in post-war countries, um, they need stable economy. First, countries should recover from damages, and then to care for their heritage. First, they should care for their people who are alive and what to do. And for this, they need stable economic system. But to have stable economic system, they need stable security system. What is really a bit difficult and challenging. For instance, how we can have stable economic system. We need investors, right? And when investors see that, oh, it is not stable, there is dangerous, there is, for instance, criminal, there is a security threat from some country, they do not invest their money, right? And economic really just got into the stagnation. Okay, government, whatever government tries doing, still it's not enough. Still we need investors, right, to recover from this. And it is the issue of like cohesion, and I don't know how it is not. We need a regional stable country, but how it can be stable after post-war situation. We need investors, but how can they invest in the country when you are not stable? So it's a very difficult situation, and really very difficult to overcome.
Thank you much for that. Could I ask you about the project from the perspective of the people? How do you get all of these incredible scholars to write for you, to write together and publish such an incredible publication? How you make all of these people work for you so efficiently and share their insights in such a incredible manner?
That's so interesting question, really. You know, all my books, I'm editing books since 2020 in IGI Global, and all my books have very like vast, very large international impact, and also international cooperation. I don't know, just I post the call for paper in my Facebook, and because I have many friends, many collaborators, I love to collaborate with my foreign colleagues, and of course they spread this. It is like a word of mouth or something like, yes, matter of mouth, and they spread to each other. Oh, there is a book there, and interesting who are interested in this one, they start to sending their proposal, and then I start to cooperate. Like, if I don't, if something does not fit, I don't say, oh, your book doesn't fit, etc. I start to cooperate. Let us do this. Let us maybe change this one, and like in a friendly manner. Really, we can engage a lot of countries, a lot of scientists, scholars. Really, I don't know how it happened, but it happened. Mostly in every book, I have minimum 10, 15 countries.
Amazing, amazing. And can you tell me more about your organization, about nonprofit, which you are ahead of?
Yeah, thank you. It's interesting. By the way, I'm having conference in the end of December, and you are invited there as a keynote speaker as usual. And thank you for your cooperation with me and my organization. And I established it in 2021. It is called multicultural group because really I love multiculturalism. I love socializing with different people with different backgrounds, and I have annual conferences. This is fifth annual conference in December, and I call it, friendly meeting of scholars, meeting of friends, just to exchange ideas, just to cooperate with others and set plans. Also, I'm cooperating in Erasmus plus projects as a partner, thanks to my foreign friends, because Georgia and Ukraine and other post-Soviet countries cannot be applicant country, and
Sure.
that's why my friends, my collaborators from other countries, they just invite me to be a partner.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and really I have two partnership for next year as well. One is in April and another is in May. And this year I also had one partnership and also have many ideas just to apply. Let us see what happened. We don't know. Will we gain project? Will we win it or not? But for the moment, I have two projects already that I'm going to be partner for sure, because my foreign partners, they have this project already funded, and they invited me as a partner. And really, I'm very glad for it. All we need is networking.
Amazing. Congratulations on your great
Thank you.
achievements and congratulations on creating such an incredible network. Can you tell me
Thank you.
what's in the pipeline? What's future holds for you and for the organization? What kind of projects you are working on at the moment?
At the moment, I don't have. At the moment, we are finishing our year, what we have done, and summarizing, and not new ideas, but I'm waiting the ideas from my foreign partners. They will maybe. We have, at the beginning of the year, when the year starts, we always have online meetings and like just draw some ideas. For the moment, no ideas, unfortunately, because we need to finish what we start. And in January, let us see what we have. But also
Amazing.
idea to work in European Commission, in Erasmus Plus. Usually I like working with them.
Amazing. Thank you very much for that. And fingers crossed for all of your projects.
Thank you,
Um,
you too. Good luck.
Thank you very much for your time. And I strongly recommend everyone to reach out to this book and any other publication by Professor Alaverdov. The publication is called Cultural Heritage Protection and Restoration in Conflict and Post-Conflict Zones. It's an edited work together with Professor Mohamed Wasen Bari and Professor Emilia Alaverdov. And I'm sure that our readers and our listeners will definitely find this position very interesting. I'm sure that our viewers will reach out to this publication. I wish you all the best and thank you much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. for your time, for inviting me, for cooperation. Really, I'm very glad for it, and I'm sure we will have good projects together as well.
Of course, definitely. We will continue our great collaboration in the future. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
being also an inspiration and a mentor to me. And I look up to you, and this is incredible to have a chance to speak to you. Thank you for all of the work which you do for young scholars. This is incredible. All the best from Sofia, Bulgaria, to Tbilisi, Georgia.
Thank you very much. All the best from Georgia as well.